Hey, this is Mad Hatter, and I am going to do another release of my YouTube Prep Tools program. And if you didn't know what that is a way to very efficiently and quickly prepare YouTube videos. It is not a pretty program, I'm not going to lie. I'm a terrible UI person, but it does work better than it used to. This is mainly a bug fix update, but there is some things that are actually new features in it too. So let's get into it. So on screen, you see the tool here. This tool is just a Python application. It is open source. You can download the source code and look through it yourself. It uses code from OpenAI Whisper, some code that I wrote, and it uses a tool called FFMPEG, and you need to install that. It's outside of what I can give you. It's not within the license for me to distribute it to you. So there is a link in the description on how to install that if you want to set this tool up. So let's start at these sliders. These sliders, they allow you to set a volume that your program will consider to be talking happening, or gunfire, or whatever you have in your setup, and it will only find sections where that audio is above a certain level. You can adjust these sliders however you want. For me, I have it set at 24, and that works out very well for me. That's how loud I talk. That's how I have my mic set up. And that is what I do. These other ones, channel 2, 3, 4, and 5, if you have audio set up in multiple channels on OBS, you can choose which channels you want to trigger on. So if you have like game audio on channel 2 and Discord chat on channel 3 and whatever else, it will combine them all and make one set of cuts if you select the boxes. Now, I actually don't use more than one channel. If there's a bug in it, I probably wouldn't have found it. So I usually use one channel at a time, but you're welcome to do whatever you want. And if there is a bug, let me know. I might fix it, I might not. It depends upon how busy I am. I only support up to 6 channels because, well, that's what I wrote it for, and I believe OBS at the time only supported 6 audio channels output, so it didn't seem like I needed to do more. If you don't have any audio in a channel and you select it, it won't make any cuts because there's no audio to cut on, and it will just dump an empty file. But you can select here if you want a channel to be used for cutting audio. You can disable the channels by clicking the checkboxes. In space is as soon as the threshold is crossed for the volume, it will go in front of it. So like if at 1 second you started talking, it would actually start triggering the clip at 0.7 seconds to give you a little bit of space on the input for your own editing purposes. Outspace is the same thing. If the volume drops, it will look for 0.3 seconds afterwards. You can configure that for whatever's comfortable in your speech. There was a bug in this. This is one of the bugs I fixed. It didn't set the out, and so it always cut the last bits of the words, and that was a problem. Now that works just fine. In my experience, I use half a second because when I start talking, for me, I don't immediately attack, so it doesn't start as sharply as I need. And then when I talk, I also trail off and it gets quieter, and sometimes it cuts the end of my word. So I use 0.5 and 0.5. It works nice for me, might be different for you. Minimum clip length is the shortest clip that you want to keep. Right now, it would keep every clip because 0.5 plus 0.5 is equal to 1. So that means if I just have a cough or a sneeze, it would keep it. I usually set this to like 1.5 or 1.3 because I don't normally do anything of value in shorter than 0.3 second intervals. Minimum silent duration. This can be kind of a painful thing. If you have a lot of chops in it, it doesn't really impress too many people if you have just like a lot of tiny shortcuts. So you can set that to delete transitions that are shorter than whatever, half a second or whatever you want to set it to. I don't ever use this one. I tend to just stop for a long period of time when I don't want to keep talking or if I lose my words. These settings drive these 2 buttons up top. Cut clip you can use to select one file, and you can hit cut clip. On this side, a little window popped up and you didn't see it because I wasn't fast enough. It's already finished cutting the clip, but a little loading bar popped up for a second, and it now made a timeline. If I right click in DaVinci and I go import the timeline, and I go to episode 4, which was a folder I was in, and I look, this is the name of the OBS clip. If I click that and I hit OK, and I hit OK, it'll find that clip, and you can see these are just a bunch of cut segments. This clip was actually, let me take a look at my statistics. So it cut 500 seconds, which is almost 10 minutes of video, down to 2 minutes and 3 seconds just in that short period of time, which was probably about 4 or 5 seconds. Now, if you want to, you can also do a cut folder. I'm going to go to this folder, episode 8+, and I'm going to hit select. And now there is a loading bar that popped up over here, and I'm trying to grab it really quick. And it is going through and it is cutting the video files as we're talking. You can see we've probably cut about 10 files so far. It's cutting all of the audio out. It's removing all of the silence really efficiently, really quickly. And it does this all automatically based upon your settings in this window. Now, what this cut has been taking about 45 seconds or so to run. I will let you know I made a mistake, and I actually left a recording running for more than an hour and a half, and that is in this cut section. So this is processing a few hours of audio and video and grabbing only the parts that have speech in them, which is super handy. And it just finished, and let's see what that looks like. And if I go to episode 8+, I jump into here and I hit OK. Yep, I need to bring those clips in. That's another thing that you got to do. Let me show you what I screwed up there. It won't actually find any of the video files because I didn't add them. So I'm going to delete this timeline. Delete. Okay, now I'm going to go in the folder episode 8+, over here. I go to my raw folder, and I'm going to grab all of these files and just drop them in so DaVinci has access to them. It's about 5 gigs of media. So now if I go back and I timelines import, and I import 8+, I hit OK. I'm going to just turn that off and only have it look in the raw folder, hit OK. Wait a couple seconds. Now you can see that video set of videos was about 2 hours and 5 minutes that got cut. So it went from, I don't know, several hours of video to 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's still a lot to work through, but these clips are a lot more manageable. So like you can see, some of these are actually intro clips that I didn't mean to bring in. These are just scrubbing through when I'm talking. You know, it's kind of nice. I like that tool quite a lot. Now let's get to the next thing. This is using the OpenAI Whisper AI model. It's a lot to say, but what it does is if you hit transcribe media, you can browse for a file. And I'm going to go to something that I've actually need. So I'm going to go to episode 6, which is... Okay, it has been a couple of days because I found a major bug I had to fix. It was not exporting properly, and you could not actually use the YouTube prep tools. So now what I have it set up as, these still work the same, but this transcribe media, I had to write it all from scratch again because it was not compiling correctly. So if I hit transcribe media and I choose episode 6, I get a progress bar. The progress bar is not accurate yet. I'm still in the process of fixing that, but it is currently exporting. The way that this will work is it will actually show progress once I get it done. This is going to take a couple minutes, so let me check back in. While this is loading, I did right click and add a subtitle track. This is the ST1. I am not the best with this. If you actually want to know how this works, you should probably look at somebody who's a little bit better in DaVinci Resolve than me, but this is the subtitle track. So let's get the SRT file loaded in, and I'll show you how to drop that right into that subtitle track. Okay, the export has just finished. I'm going to go into the folder, which is horribly organized, but I have 3 files that generated. I have a text file, and if I open that up, it is just all of the words in a text file. There may be words that don't make sense, like Matt Hatter instead of Mad Hatter. That's just my pronunciation. Anyway, if you want to look at what you can put on YouTube, you can go to the SRT file. This SRT file has all of the text with the timestamp, so YouTube knows how to process it. So if I wanted to fix that, I can just change it to Mad Hatter there. And I can look for where else that is at. If I go now and I grab that SRT file and drop it into DaVinci as a source file, and then I drop it into my timeline here, you can see I'm starting to get text that I can actually have all the stuff working. It's pretty cool. Now, I don't know exactly how you do the formatting of these, but you can see here all of it is put in, and you can go and you can change this to that, and you can set your color to that, and you can add a stroke that is a black line, and then you can increase the side, and you can hit outside only and make it look sort of nice. You can move it to the left, you can move it down, and it auto generates your subtitles for you. Anyway, that is how the subtitle feature works. And now let's go through the last feature of this tool. The last feature of this tool is the descriptions tool. This is designed for you to actually write a template for your description. So if you're doing a series on whatever thing that you're doing a series on, you put your social links, you put your sponsor links, you put in your general description that you want as a template. That's cool, but the last thing that you do is you can put markers in your clips however you want. I just put a couple of them here as an example. Now, if I click on this index button up top, and I go to show markers, and I select one channel of markers. This only has the three channels in there. I go here, and I go to export edit index. I can then go to wherever I want to save this, and I'll save this as EP6 and hit save CSV. Those are now saved as a CSV file. We can now go markers to clipboard, find that CSV file. Now, if I go to Notepad, I'm just going to make a new Notepad quick. And if I paste this here, you can see it has the text from my boilerplate. Then it has my chapters added in there. So that way you can do your YouTube chapters pretty quickly and easily. And you also get all of your templating stuff that you don't want to have to deal with copy pasting into YouTube descriptions. It drops it into the clipboard. So all you have to do is click into YouTube and hit paste, and it will be right there for you. Now, if you run multiple series, you can use the save as, and I can save this profile for this game, for this series, as a JSON file. So this is going to be the default skyblock. Now, if I change this to be some other random stuff, and I don't want this pack link in there, and I don't want the download button in there, I don't want to link to the pack because that doesn't make sense. I just want my Discord invite and my text description. I can hit save as, and I can do other other template and hit save. Now, if I load my default skyblock, it sets all of these things up the way it was. If I hit load other template, it sets it back to the other random stuff. Also, if I only wanted to do channel 2 for that game and I wanted it at 4, like, so it's really loud noises, and I wanted to set, you know, these different, I can save as, and I can save the other template. Yes. And now I can load my Skyblock template, and all the settings are set the way that they were before, and I can load the other template, and you can see all of my sliders got adjusted. So you can save the profiles. You don't have to manually tweak these every time you want to deal with it. But that's what it does. It's not the craziest of tools. It will not change everything about how you edit videos. It won't make them completely trivial, but it does make it a lot simpler. Anyway, this is Mad Hatter. And if you like that, do subscribe. I will put the links of where to download this in the description. And if you want to pay for it, which this is a completely free tool, you do not have to pay anything for it. But if you want to pay for it, I will put it on itch.io. You can pay for it there and also download it. But it is available free on GitHub. It is open source. You can modify it. You can look through the code. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, this is Mad Hatter, and I'm out. Bye.